first chance of the game. It's special. What a goal. Everybody talked about. Victory after rest.
Mikel Arteta hits out at passive and unacceptable defending as Gunners survive scare to beat Wolves. Arsenal conceded a 90th minute equaliser to Premier League bottom club Wolves, but a second own goal of the game from the visitors in the 94th minute saw the Gunners eventually prevail to go 5 points clear at the top of the table. Mikel Arteta branded elements of Arsenal's performance against Wolves as unacceptable, slamming their passive and horrible defensive habits as they allowed their visitors to equally slate on. The Gunners eventually prevailed to 2-1 thanks to a second Wolves own goal of the night. The win extends their advantage at the top of the Premier League to 5 points, but it was far from a straightforward finale against the division's bottom club, with a 90th minute Wolves equaliser almost proving costly. Arteta described his team as passive in the moments before Tolu Arokadare headed Wolves level at 1-1, and said that was more his focus than celebrating the resilience of his side to strike back through a Yerson Mosquera own goal at the 94th minute. The Gunners had benefited from the ball going in off goalkeeper Sam Johnstone earlier in the second half. We had a period of 2 or 3 minutes in deep block, totally passive with horrible defensive habits, said Arteta of the final stages. That's nowhere near the required level against a team that hasn't had a single shot. The first time they had the opportunity to do it, they scored a goal. Wolves' goal was their third shot. We're relieved because we managed to score a goal at the end and go and win it, but we need to improve in that sense, for sure. You have to give credit to Wolves. I knew that wasn't going to be an easy game, but we made it even harder with the manner we conceded the goal. And that's unacceptable. Arteta explained he had no problem with his team dropping deep. Instead, it was their actions within that defensive setup which he didn't like. We can defend deep because they commit a lot of players. There is the moment you cannot press them, that's fine. But the level of activity in that block has to be very different to the one that we had. As well as frustration at how his side managed the final part of the game, Arteta was also unimpressed with a failure to capitalise on promising positions during a first half in which the Gunners failed to have a single shot on target. It's the first time in the Premier League this season they've done that, with Gabriel Martinelli miscuing a golden opportunity from close range with a header. But we struggled once we arrived into the danger zones to pick out red shirts in the box. We had many situations like that, and then we didn't generate many clear chances. In the second half, we did that a bit better, and then scored the goal. Ben White limped off during the first half, with Arteta saying the defender has sustained a hamstring injury, which will be assessed in the coming days. The Arsenal boss went on to flag how stretched his squad is. The Gunners are already without defenders Gabriel Magalhaes and Christian Mosquera, although William Saliba played 90 minutes on his return from injury. We had to risk Willie, said Arteta. It probably wasn't the best call to play 90 minutes because we were buying tickets for another injury. But we don't have anybody else. That's dangerous, for sure. Mosquera's last gasp own goal hands Arsenal dramatic win against luckless Wolves. No easy games. Surely this one would be for Arsenal. Never before in English football history had a team endured a worse league record after 15 matches than Wolves. In any of the professional divisions, their haul of 2 points gave an outline of the griminess, although by no means all of the detail. You just had to hand it to the club's 3,000 travelling fans who took up their full ticket allocation. There were no trains back to Wolverhampton after the game, obviously. It was a weekend, mission impossible. This felt like the definition of it. Yet Wolves would scrap, and they would confound. For most of the occasion, it felt as if we were watching the shock result of the season play out. Arsenal were horribly off their game. The Premier League leaders might have cited fatigue an excuse. It was also possible to wonder whether complacency was at work in the Emirates Stadium stands as well, where it was strangely flat and subdued, particularly in the first half. Mikel Arteta's team played their trump card on 70 minutes. From a corner, naturally, little had gone for them in open play. It was bukayo Saka who sent over the in-swinger from the right, and it was when Sam Johnstone's world fell in. The Wolves goalkeeper misread the flight and, scrambling back, he seemed to brush the ball against the far post. Whereupon it bounced back, hit him and went in. The crazy thing was that Rob Edwards' visitors rebelled. Arsenal tried to protect what they had towards the end, and they dropped deep, almost inviting their opponents on. Arteta would be furious about this afterwards,